Hello. Today is Saturday, May 2nd, and we're going to go over our weekly highlight, which is how to reduce stress eating. I think I did pretty good. I didn't really do a lot of stress eating this week, not that I think about it. I handle stress in a different way. I usually don't eat. I just go within myself, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about this. But first off, we'll start off with how I did this week. So here we go. Let me see how we did. As you know, I'm not showing you on my scale anymore because I've noticed that there's a reflection of me. So, but anyway, I did lose 0.2. Not last week, but the week before, I had lost. I had gained 0.2. So I lost that, and I was hoping to lose the 1.6 that I gained last week, but that didn't happen. So anyway, I'm happy with the 0.2. I'm not ecstatic. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not doing cartwheels. Of course, I couldn't do a cartwheel if I tried, but it's better than a gain. I'll say that it's better than a gain, and it's not only. I lost 0.2, which is a loss any way you look at it in the loss column. So I have lost a total of 89 pounds. My highest I have lost was 1.4, I think, or 90.4, or 90.6, something like that. So I still got to lose another 1.4 or 1.6 to get back to where I was. But I'll get there. It might take me a while, but I'll get there. I just know I'll get there. But I'm not going to get discouraged. I'm going to stay on track, plan out my meals. I did eat a few more vegetables this week. But with that, I had salad dressings, which is sodium, so it could be a sodium gain. It also could be the fact that I hardly ate anything for 5 or 6 weeks during Lent, and so my body's just readjusting, and it might take a couple weeks for it to catch up. I'm willing to wait. Where am I going? We're on lockdown until the end of May here in Michigan. Well, actually, officially, it's supposed to end May 16th. But restrictions are in place until May 28th, which we know. They're going to extend it. We just know. But, that's neither here nor there. It doesn't affect my process of trying to lose weight and handle my stress and learn to adjust to my new normal, because this is a new normal. And as much as we don't like to really think about it, it is going to last for another year or two. And so it's just, but suck it up, buttercup. That's all we can do. And we can either choose to dread the next 2 years and just think I'm trapped, or try to figure out ways we can handle the next 2 years to make our normal a little bit more normal. Our new normal a little bit more old normal. We'll see. We'll see how it works. But anyway, let's get on with the meeting. How to reduce stress eating. Let's talk. Stress eating is a very real thing. It's no surprise that we find ourselves reaching into a bag of chips or spoon deep into a pint of ice cream when we're stressed, especially now. Ice cream does sound good right about now. It really does. I do have some Weight Watcher fudge bars in there, but they're 4 points. I think that's kind of high for of course, I guess if you had ice cream, it would be 7 or 8. But it might be worth it. Anyway, not to eat them in a stress situation, but to plan it out as a treat, not a cheat. Plan it out as a treat. And while eating can be distracting and comforting, it is a temporary sense of relief that can leave us frustrated, especially when it impacts our weight loss goals. Sinuses in Michigan, sorry. I have no virus or anything. My hair, though, is another story. By paying attention to stress eating tendencies, we're more likely to recognize it when it happens and find a more helpful way to manage our stress and take a different path. I think the very first thing that we do need to recognize is we need to recognize what's going to set us off. Is it feeling trapped in the house? Is it not seeing your family or friends? Is it not being able to go to work? Is it not being able to attend your meetings? Identify your stress, because the first thing you need to do is just identify what it is. And I think once you identify it, then you can realize what the feelings that follow after it. So if you recognize that it's like, I'm missing my friends at work, maybe you used to go like at a certain time, at like 10:15 you used to go on a coffee break. Go on a coffee break. Try to FaceTime them or Zoom meeting them or something. Or just sit by yourself and pretend like you're talking to them. You're alone anyhow. Who's going to know you're talking to yourself? Next time you feel an urge to stress eat, follow the steps below. Here's a hint. This technique can work for any emotions you're feeling, like sadness or loneliness. That's true because, I love being with Jim, but, I miss being with other people. It's just, I'm lucky that I found somebody that I'm compatible with, that I can spend my time with. It's not like we're at each other's throats. That would be awful if you were with somebody that you really didn't like. But, and you can love somebody and not like them. Luckily, I like and love Jim, so that works out good. The first thing you want to do is hit pause. Put space between the impulse and what happens next to help break your automatic response to reach for food. Think about it when it's going to happen. Like before you reach into a bag of chips, are you reaching into that chips because you want to satisfy a feeling, or is it just because you're hungry? And if it's just because you're hungry, then measure them out, track them, eat them, feel no guilt. But if it's because you're trying to replace a feeling and you're just going to take the bag with you to the chair and start eating them, that's not going to be good. Set a 5-minute timer before making a move. Try a headspace meditation in the WW app. Scroll on Connect or watch that crazy cat video your friend said. I always try to think like if I want something really bad, I do set a limit, a 5-minute limit. And I always try to distract myself with something else to see. And if after 5 or 10 minutes I still have that urge, I go and get it. I really do. But I measure it out and I track it because it's just going to keep building and building. But a lot of times I'll forget all about it and I won't go get it. And then I'll remember it. I'll go, you know what, about half an hour ago I wanted some cookies, but now I don't. It does really work. I'm not too sure about the meditating space and all that, but if it works, more power to you. But try to find some funny videos. Go on Facebook. There's always something on Facebook. I know there's a lot of stuff on Facebook nowadays to get you mad too. But there are a couple of funny videos too. The second thing they told you to do is be curious. Once the timer goes off, check in with yourself. Are you still having the urge to eat? If not, move on with your day. If so, think of other strategies that might relieve stress or change how you're feeling. Maybe if you're playing a favorite song, calling a family member, grabbing a journal and just write your feelings down. I don't set a timer per se because that's just to me a reminder that, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted the cookie. I just kind of look at the clock and then judge for 5 minutes. And I always think of this one Perry Mason show that a long time ago. Perry Mason was a lawyer. It was a law show back in the 60s. But I remember he had questioned somebody and they said, how long did you look at that person? How are you sure you can identify him? And the guy says, I looked at him for a whole minute. And Perry Mason said, a whole minute? He said, yes, a whole minute. So then he had a little stopwatch and he put a lid on 1 minute. And he said, stare at me for 1 minute. And then the guy didn't look at him for the whole minute. He kind of looked away. And he said, are you sure you looked at him for a full minute? Because a full minute is a long time. Even like I know it's like a morbid subject, but like on plane crashes and that, and they say, well, they had 2 minutes before they hit the ground. Time yourself. 2 minutes to be scared to death is a long time. And 2 minutes to try to wait to have something to eat can be a long time too. But sometimes it can be a little quicker. And that way you won't feel as much guilt for eating something if at least you gave yourself a couple minutes to, like in a timeout, to decide. Even like toddlers, they tell you, like, you put them according to their age. Of course, they're like, I'd have to be in timeout for 70 minutes. But then I probably wouldn't want whatever it was I wanted. But, give them figure out a time limit that works for you. The third thing they tell you to do is make a move. Try one of your ideas from part 2 to respond to stress. If you can't think of anything that will work right now and eating's still top of your mind, give it a go. You already made a powerful step towards changing the habit to connect food and stress, and you'll be able to make a more conscious choice. If you really can identify that, I'm eating this because I'm stressed and I'm going to eat it anyway, at least you've identified the problem that, I'm eating it because I'm stressed. And then once you eat it and you're finished with it, ask yourself, did it relieve my stress? I'm going to say that 9 times out of 10, it didn't relieve your stress. If anything, it led you to guilt. And then with the guilt, it's going to lead you to more stress, which is going to lead you to more food. So sometimes, especially now, you just need to eat. And it's a comfort. Food is involved in all aspects of your life. Happy times and joyful times and sad times. Weddings and funerals. It's just, birthdays and illness. I mean, it's just not so much illness, but, in illness, yes, because if somebody's ill, people are always bringing you potluck dinners and stuff like that nowadays. But, they're always bringing you some food and that to try to comfort you a little bit and even when you were little, your mother always gave you something, cookies or something to make you feel better. When you went to the doctor and got a shot, they always gave you a sucker. So we associate food with happiness. And it really is true that food does bring happiness a lot of times. But we have to remember that food also can cause sadness. And you have to remember that it's not, a lot of times the food is just not going to fill that void. So you need to find something else that's going to fill that void. And the fourth thing they tell you to do is reflect back. Did you eat or do something different? Recognize how you felt and if your urge to eat changed. Maybe you'll want to choose another strategy next time. If you aren't happy with how things went, show yourself some kindness and use this opportunity to learn, grow, and move forward. Don't beat yourself up. We're all going to fall down that rabbit hole and go crazy eating something. Mine lately has been buttered popcorn. And I know I can get those little Jolly Tom bags, and they're all pre-measured, and it's 3 points, and it's good in a pinch. But it's not the same. It's just not the same. As we say in my family, close, similar, not the same. That's from Airplane. We quote movie quotes in my family a lot of time. But it's just, don't beat yourself up. We're all going to stress eat at some point in our life. Maybe not all the time. Some people are going to do it all the time. Some people might just do it once or twice in their life. But I'm almost positive that somebody at one time in their life, at least one time in their life, ate out of stress and then felt guilty afterwards. And that's not the purpose of food. Food is not to make you feel guilty. Food is to nourish your body. And sometimes food is to nourish your soul. And if having that cookie is going to nourish your soul at that moment, recognize that you want it. Recognize that you're stressed. You're going to eat because you're stressed. And you're going to have that cookie because you're stressed. Then I think you won't feel as guilty because at least you've identified the feeling of why you're eating. And then don't go crazy afterwards. Have the cookie. Enjoy the cookie. Relish the cookie. Savor the cookie. All of that. But don't stress about that. Just don't stress because we have enough ordinary stress in our life without adding to the, am I going to gain weight this week stress. If we come out of this staying the same or with a couple pounds gained, okay, it's not the end of the world. Well, no, it's not the end of the world. It's the end of the world as we knew it. Oh, that's a song. It's the end of the world as we know it, which is a true statement because we're going to enter into a whole new world. When all this is said and done, it's going to be a whole different world. And unfortunately, like the plague back in 1917, which lasted 2 or 3 years, gradually people got back to their old ways. And we will again. We just will again. But we're not going to do it by stress eating. So recognize why you're eating. Accept why you're eating. But don't feel guilty about why you're eating because you're just going to eat more. In the long run, you're just going to eat more. So just figure out a different way to relieve your stress. Jim and I have been doing puzzles. We go for walks. I read. I journal. I watch YouTube videos. I plan out my day as far as food goes. Doesn't mean that sometimes along the line I kind of stray off and have something that's not really on my menu plan. But I don't stress about it and I don't feel guilty. So the recipe I definitely will not be trying because I am not a coffee drinker. It is cinnamon dolce latte. I'll leave a video at the end so in case you want to see it. The only thing I would do is maybe put the cinnamon in my tea because I don't put milk in my tea. I just drink a black tea and I don't put sugar or honey in my tea either or lemon. I don't put anything in my tea, but I do like a good cup of cinnamon tea or strawberry tea. That's another one I like. So anyway, point 2 loss. It's a loss. It's a loss in the loss column. And I'll get to that 100 pounds. I know I will. It's going to take me a little bit longer, but where am I going? I'm in the house. I have nowhere to go. So just bringing in healthy foods so I don't have a an urge to go off my plan. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit that like button, leave a comment, let me know how you handle your stress, and share it if you think somebody might like to see it. So I end all my videos now with stay healthy, stay happy, stay strong, stay home. Talk to you guys on my daily vlog, or I'll see you next week. Okay, and here we go. How to reduce stress eating. And the different steps that they give you. There's 4 steps. And this is the recipe for the week. I didn't print it off in color, so it doesn't show it as pretty as it should be. But that's what it looks like. So there's the recipe.